Guys, I thought I'd come back. I don't know if you guys went over and watched the ruling for the autopsy or not on the Gabby Petito case, but I thought I would come on just to let everyone know whether they watch this now or whether they come on a little bit later and watch it if they're curious on the Gabby Petito case. So, the coroner came out with the ruling at 2:30. Did you, babyface? Yeah. Yes, Floridians are kind of watching it pretty closely. So, what do you feel? Do you think he's out there in the reserve? I don't. Do you think he's there? I think he's too much of a coward. How in the world skinny old Brian is going to survive out there with no food and water? Yes, he could sterilize his water. I guess he could fish. But I don't see him being out there that long by himself. I just don't. Yeah, that's what I thought too. Because, I was commenting on there. I was watching it through WFLA. And she was no grieving mother or in a frantic state about what was going on with her son. If your son's missing, wouldn't you be freaking out? I mean, there's no way that I would be that calm. And then what gets me, okay, right when he gets home, they go and buy that little topper. Okay, so you're telling me that his butt wasn't in that topper? Oh, yeah, his butt was in that topper. I don't get it. Hi, sweetie. How are you? That's Rouge. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If there was nothing from the mother or the father on Brian's side, nothing. And then what gets me, all right, this is what makes me mad the most. They were pulled over in Wyoming, right? And then they set Brian up in the motel room and gonna leave poor little Gabby that doesn't know really how to drive that van that well, all on her own. But when she told them that he grabbed her by the face, they did nothing. They were fist bumping him. They did nothing. But he had marks on him, which were probably defense wounds. I mean, I went through a similar something like this, but I wasn't killed. But even if they really truly thought that it was her being the bad guy, then they should have arrested her, because if they would have arrested her, she would probably be alive. And then they were saying today that with the timeline that WFLA whatever is creating, he more than likely murdered her. See, either they believe on the 27th, but it had to be between the 27th through the 29th. Yeah, the cops were the same way with me. But, they pretty much killed this girl because they're saying he more than likely murdered her right after they were separated, remember, for that night or 2 nights or whatever it was. But they're believing that she got murdered shortly after they rejoined together, because they're saying that her body laid out in the elements for 3 to 4 weeks. So more, 3.5 weeks, something like that. They're not saying whether it was a shallow grave or it was on the surface, which I believe it was on the surface. I also believe the night that she was taken was the same night that that family went past their van. And did you happen to see the flip flops right outside the van? So I believe it was the same night that he murdered her. And he ain't going to take the time to bury her. I'm surprised that there was even a campsite where they were. Yep, yep, you're exactly right. It's going to blame her for the cops being called. Exactly. So, and I figured all along it was strangulation. What easier way? He then grabbed her by the face once, and he slapped her across the face 2 to 3 times. There was eyewitness reports on that also before they were even pulled over. So, I believe that, honestly, that her family has a lawsuit with that police department and whoever pulled her. I really do. Because I think if they would have, number one, arrested her, she would have lived. Or, I think that they still probably, knowing the way Brian is, from what they're saying, the way he is, um, even if they forbid them, or had restraining orders for them not to get together, I still think he would have found a way to get back to her, just because he didn't want to be dumped somewhere with, he was relying on her money, and that's another thing. How come that they still don't have? They got a warrant for his arrest, but it's for bank fraud. I mean, he's a person of interest, but he's not a suspect. I don't understand that. Because the coroner said they got the DNA, they got things that they need, but he couldn't elaborate on any of it. So, why isn't he being. I mean, he had a bank card. He had a van. She's laid up somewhere dead. Why isn't he a suspect? There was a 911 call of him slapping her. I know it burns me up. Yeah, I want him caught too, but the thing about it is, the family's lying. He's sitting somewhere on somebody's couch, taking nice showers, and having good meals. Hi, Lori. How are you, sweetie? We're talking about the Gabby Petito case. The coroner's ruling just came in about an hour and 15 minutes ago, roughly. But it was ruled as a strangulation, so we knew it was a homicide, just not how she died. Yep. The second night charges, so they're going to wait until they get. Yeah, but what are they doing? I mean, they've been in that reserve now for how long? Seriously, for how long? They've been in there for 2 weeks, right? 3 weeks now? They said it was first they said it was a homicide. We knew that. But now they said it was strangulation. So, but he done grabbed her by the face before they were pulled over. He done slapped her in the face 3 to 4 times before they were pulled over. So I figured she was so tiny, Nah, the dog can't find him. He's not there. I don't know. I think that thing is just a way for dog to get back in the limelight. We'll see if he finds him. I don't know. I think this kid is somewhere buried so deep by his mama and daddy because, they used to live in New York too. So, because that's where her family's from. And then they moved over there towards Sarasota or whatever. And that's why she was here. But, squeeze her neck, yep. Until she was dead. Yep. He wasn't right in the head anyway. He had some serious issues. He would hide her driver's license so she couldn't find it, so she couldn't go out. He would just do some really weird things. He said that, I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, but it seems like that they said, her friend said that Brian would say he would hear voices. So, he wasn't all correct in the head. Yep, you're right. Sloppy police work. They have to carry the guilt. Yep. You know what? I mean, and it wasn't just 1 or 2 cops. This was like 3 and 4 cops. They're freaking out. They're fist bumping the guy. I don't know if you guys seen that footage of when they got pulled over, but if you get a chance, just look at it. Put the Gabby Petito, being pulled over. It shows her. She is crying so uncontrollable. Brian quit shaking, and he's out there laughing and cutting up and fist bumping the cops. I mean, it makes you cry when you watch it. I mean, it's just, and she's left in the car all by herself. They're all surrounded him having a good time. I don't understand it. Where to send him? Yeah, he could. But I believe that them parents put him somewhere. And they still have New York ties. So they need to be done. I'm sure they are. Looking at if they got family and friends in New York too. No, I can't. I can't imagine what it was like for Gabby in that home. And I can't imagine what it was like for Gabby out there in the desert like that. And can't even cry out for help because there's no one there. And I don't understand, unless Brian just had total control, which he probably did, why she would place herself back in that same situation with him. Hi, Betty. But, why she would be out there in the middle of nowhere, and I think it was his doing. Even though there was other campsites and everything like that, I mean, what they say, she was 5 miles, was it 5 miles from the van where they found her? You just saw the press conference? Yeah. From day go, because this is taken off. I mean, shortly after the mother, because she's a YouTuber, and so me and my daughter's been watching it pretty closely. And, I mean, they're near Sarasota, not too far from Tampa. So my daughter lives right there in Brandon. So it just, he could go backwoods, and I mean, people live backwoods Florida. Like Zephyr Hills and stuff like that. They would never find him. And then they said that there's people in North Carolina that's seen him. Who knows? And what gets me, I mean, this guy isn't that bright. He's really not. I mean, you can look at him and tell, and you can hear how he talks to the officers and everything when they were pulled over. So he's not that intelligent, I don't think. So it's not him hiding himself out. You know what I mean? I mean, all of this is too weird. All of it is too weird. And, her last post, I guess, was her by the monarch butterfly and stuff. I mean, I dip all in those conspiracy theories and stuff like that. And the hidden messages and stuff, so y'all don't laugh at me. But I do. And I'm just thinking, her in front of that monarch butterfly and stuff. And there was a picture. I get this, guys. She's wearing a pair of those. Um, Hi, sweetie. How are you doing? But she's wearing a pair of those, those mirrored type sunglasses. And in one of the lenses, it said fake. And that was one of her posts. So I'm just, all of this is just kind of weird. Not feeling well. I'm so sorry. That toothache. Honey, you need to get that fixed. That is the worst pain. Try, if you got a baby aspirin like before, I think Babyface said it, or somebody said it, dissolve an aspirin on it. You so need to get, bye, sweetie. I hope you feel better. I know that's painful. But if you guys run across that, it's a picture of her with those glasses on it. It says, babe, her last post was, I forget where it was, but it had to be like in Wyoming or somewhere. But it was her in front of that monarch butterfly. So, just then his family's the way they are, and they're going by that topper for their truck. Did you see what I don't know? That's all weird to me, Patty. I mean, all of that stuff is so strange. And the way his family is, I mean, and they're not going to say anything now. Everybody knows who killed this young lady. And he's the one left with all her belongings afterwards. So, I don't know. And it's like this is just going everywhere. I mean, in the United States, every state is I was looking at the chat and reading, I mean, just so many people from, regular people and people that's got channels. It's just remarkable. But this is just all too strange for me. It's just all weird. But I wanted to come on and see if you guys got the ruling, and there she is. So I did want to come up and let you guys know, if you didn't, what the ruling was. So yes, I watched that too, Babyface. I watched that too. But it does seem, don't get me wrong here, but it seems like her real father is just he loves attention, and I'm not saying, I don't want to sound rude or, disrespectful or anything, because I know they're grieving, but it just seemed like he was an attention seeker to me. I don't know. I watch people. I read them. Can I be wrong? Absolutely. Have I been wrong before? Absolutely. But I like to people read, and I watch them closely, the way they talk and their gestures and what they're saying and how they're saying it. So, did you? It was something else. Now, the mom, oh my goodness. The mom. What else is there to be said? And her heart's broken. And I guess all of them went out and got tattoos and stuff of Gabby's designs and things like that. But but what now is good is they'll have closure. They'll be able to bring the body home, because at her memorial there was a urn there, but it was empty. So I guess when they're done, she will be cremated and put in the urn. And so, the family's already got the memorial done. Hi, Geraldine. Hi, Amy. Yeah, this is a sad day. This is a really sad day. But I couldn't let it go by. I haven't said anything, and we're so close to where his family's at. But I haven't said anything because, you don't. So many people are jumping on the bandwagon of her. You know, it is a tragedy. You got that right. Yep. And so young, and she was gorgeous. And I don't even know, what she saw in this kid, really. Because I guess she met him in high school, though, because they used to live in New York, too. And they had some kind of business, um, call it shakes or something. But they did really well for a time. But, you know, it's like I don't want to be disrespectful to any parts of her family, you know, or his family or anything. Even though I can say to his family, a lot of the things that they're doing is a little out there to me. Um, Anybody else would be out there trying to help, you would think, especially for a young lady that lived with them. That's what I don't understand. Um, and she was supposed to be like family to them also. So, yeah, we can be when we're young. We think we're bulletproof and everything. But yeah, exactly, Michelle. Exactly. His family is just. The sister, Patty. I don't know. I think, they were going back and forth of the way that she worded things when she said that she hasn't spoken to her brother, or she hasn't had a chance to speak to her brother. Um, in her head, she could be saying, well, I didn't have a chance to speak with him concerning, Gabby or anything, you know. But I think all of them could be doing a lot more and should have been doing a lot more in the very beginning, and I didn't see them offer a hand in anything. I mean, even when the parents would call his parents and they wouldn't answer the phone, they called and called and called, left messages. Never once did they call back or answer their phone. Now, if there isn't something shady there, why aren't they there wanting to lend a hand to try to find Gabby? And she lived with them. She lived with them. So, and then the sister, um, she was supposed to be pretty close to. Her kids called her Aunt Gabby. So, I mean, there is something really weird that police should have if they truly believe that she was the perpetrator in, their little dispute. And I believe his scratches were fence scratches. I don't think that, she meant to cause those in any way, shape, or form because, like she said, and she didn't hesitate when she said, would you purposely hurt Brian? She said, not at all. I would never. And it was just a fly out of butter. It flew right out of her mouth. It wasn't something that she even gave thought to. It just came right out. And I do believe that's the type of person she was. Now, with him, on the other hand, he looked like he was searching for answers. What can I tell the police? And then you could tell with her, she says, I didn't mean to make him hit the barrier here, the curb. She goes, it was my fault. I didn't mean to cause him to do that. So you could tell right away, and I don't understand. Policemen really and cops really need to have more education when it comes to uh, physical altercations between couples. They really do, because they're not reading it right. You know, Babyface said it. A similar thing happened to her. A similar thing happened to me, and I was the one that went to jail. And I'm not going to get on my spiel right now, but I was going to hire a lawyer, and I was wrongfully arrested. You know, but they let him go. So, you know, I mean, this happens over and over and over, and then women are killed for it. You know, there's all kinds of stories. If you look, they're out there. So I did. And with her taking the blame of everything, and then did they even hear her say he grabbed my face? Did they even hear that? Because that's hands-on. Okay, that's hands-on. Did she admit what she did to him? Yes. But there was an absence on him admitting to anything. From what I was watching, I didn't see him admit to anything. It was all Gabby admitting to things. And I really think that she would take the blame, you know, for anything to get him out of trouble. So I think that there's going to, and the parents on her side, you know, should have, I believe, a lawsuit with this police department. Because you can look at that footage and you can see her shaking, she's crying, she looks distraught. You know, he's out there having a good time walking around fist bumping cops, you know, getting reservations for a hotel room. While she's going to be left alone in a van she doesn't even like driving, you know, out in the middle of nowhere. It doesn't make any sense, you know, and I'm waiting for them to arrest this guy. They need to, why they're in this reserve for 3 weeks, going on 3 weeks, I have no clue. What are they doing? And it's, you can't even say they're looking for a murder weapon or anything, because there was no gun, there was no weapon. It was his hands. So what are they doing? Because he can't be. I personally don't think he's in there. I truly don't think he's in there. You know, and then they're going to say that they're the only thing that they have on him right now is the bank card fraud, to where he went and spent $1,000 from the 27th to the 30th, or September 1st, on Gabby's bank card. So he's got in possession of her van. He's in possession of her bank card. So why aren't they saying he's a suspect? I mean, Babyface kind of explained a little bit, but I you know, and I know that they're going to maybe not do it until they've got him in custody. But what are they doing in that reserve? Why did they bring the father out there? Now, when they first did that, and they went out and fetched him and took him out there, I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe his remains are there. Maybe he had to identify him. Because I really don't think that they're going to go pick him up to help them search. You know, I don't see what the purpose of that would be. Because they got all the information, from what I understand with the news reports, that they needed on the locations that the family said, you know, were valuable in searching for him. So I don't see why. I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe he's got himself held up hostage in there somewhere and he needs to be talked out. Maybe his remains is there. The father needed to come to identify him or something, make sure it was Brian. You know, and nothing came of that. Not that I saw. I mean, I've been waiting. Nothing came of that. You know, when he left, he took like a Walmart shopper's bag, and it looked like he had a pair of sneakers or something long in them, in that Walmart bag when he got into his truck. But I don't understand. And then it was only one, like, golf cart, four-wheeler, not even a four-wheeler, it was more like a golf cart, that took him from his truck to wherever the area that they were taking him to. So I'm just really confused on what they're still doing in that reserve. You guys have any ideas? Besides what I just mentioned, I mean, then now today we've got the cause of death. So where's it going to go from here? I don't know. I know it hits close to home because we aren't far from his family's home, and it's just sad that something like this had to happen to such a beautiful young lady, you know. But I guess that's all. I had a bunch of papers here that I was gonna go over with you guys, but you guys already know. But I'm probably gonna use that as the pin, thumbnail. But whoops, guess I lost you guys. I don't know what I did. Where am I at? Okay. I'm always messing up when it comes to StreamYard. But I don't know. I printed this out today, and everybody just say a prayer for her family. You know, um, just kind of wish the family condolences and prayers and stuff. If you go to, I think now this is Fox News, but I was on WFLA. You can go there and just say, prayers for the family. Yes, I saw John Walsh there. Let's see, John Walsh. Let's see where you were saying that, Patty. Hang on, guys. I'm just looking for a comment. Yes, I had Michelle, right? It was a weird. That's what I'm saying. This whole case, man. And then to separate them and say, okay, you guys, I'm not going to tell you what you can do afterwards. Did you hear that comment? We can't tell you what to do afterwards. And I was like, counseling, maybe, anger management, something. Seek help. But that really disturbed me. Hi, Christo. Somebody told him to off himself. I didn't. I missed that. Oh wow. I don't know if you're still here, Patty, but I didn't. I missed that part. So there's several lives going on now with different news stations, Channel 8, WFLA, probably a whole bunch of them. So I don't know which one you were watching, but they were having some pretty off things on our chat too. I mean, things I won't even say, but it's just discussing how people can be, you know. Yeah. Oh, Cheryl goes. Uh-oh. Hello, Tiffany. I kind of lost myself and then found myself, Cheryl. That's funny. But anyway, I'm going to stay on top of this. I'm just going to see I watch it every day, you know. Who would say that? And you know what happened with his son, right? Well, I was living in Vero Beach, Florida at the time, and I believe it happened on the outskirts of Vero Beach, or not Fellsmere. I said that earlier. Uh, what is it named? Fort Pierce. It happened between Vero Beach, Florida, and Fort Pierce, where they found his son. So I was around for that one close by too. But I love you too, bunches, Amy. But I didn't see that one. I don't know which one you were on. But I seen some disgusting things. And I just, people are sick. They've got their own issues mentally. But they need to stay off of, feeds like this, because this is truly sadness for the family. They lost their baby girl, and they're not going to get her anymore. Yeah, but it was sad. So it was Adam, I believe it was Adam Welch. So I think he was 6 years old. So it's truly sad. Yeah, they did make a movie out of it. Yeah. But if I'm not mistaken, it's in between Vero Beach, Florida, and I grew up in Vero, so I was there at the time in my teens, and Fort Pierce, Florida. So yeah, next thing. Tiffany is probably good because it's sad, but yet it's frustrating, and it's strange. It's strange. It's weird how everything revolving her boyfriend is just weird. Her last upload on YouTube, it's just weird. With faking the glasses and standing in front of the monarch butterfly, and even her clothing was pattern of the monarch butterfly. It's just all so strange. Adam Welch, yeah. It was horrifying. It really was. It was a sad time in our area of the woods when I was growing up, because it was a real big thing. And of course it would be, So it just, but this case kind of reminds me, even though she wasn't 6 years old, she was a beautiful young lady. She was 22. She was adventurous. She was out doing everything all of us wish we could be out doing, and she was a YouTuber. So, that hits home as well. So, plus she lived in my neck of the woods because his family lived in Sarasota, close to Sarasota, Florida. And and you are so right, Tiffany, because if they're not from here, they come here and they do their evil work here. So one way or another, it's Florida. It's always Florida. As you said that before, too, because everything that, happens, he may be from New York. She was from New York. It's just his family moved here, and she moved in with them. So, but, she wasn't killed in Florida, though. She was killed in Wyoming. So, in the middle of nowhere. There was other campsites around, but she was, I believe, 5 miles out from the van. So, what's strange, another strange thing, a flip-flop right outside the back door of the van. One flip-flop. None of this makes any sense. Yeah, hi, Phyllis. Yeah, I came back. Did you hear about the results of the autopsy? Did you catch it? Well, it was, we knew it's homicide, and it is due to strangulation. So he strangled her. So, and we knew, it never ends well. When you got domestic violence like that, and it's hands-on like that, It never ends well, you know. So trust me, I've been in more than one domestic, physical relationship, and it never ends well. Never. So thank God I'm still alive today, but this young lady isn't. And these cops could have saved her life, and they didn't. So, you know, really, cannibal case going on right now in Missouri. Oh my goodness. Woman was kept in the cage. Oh. Oh wow. That's nuts. He kept her in a cage. Oh my dear Lord. They ate all their Jesus. What is wrong with people? Seriously, what is wrong with people? They need the Lord. They do. They need that evil cast out. Oh my goodness, was it more than one person? I gotta take these eye patches off. They're killing me. Oh, by the way, these eye patches fill in these dark circles. I've got to find these again somewhere. They're really good. These two guys ate this woman. Why? That is just pure evil. Exactly what you said, Tiffany. It's pure evil. She said, hang on. So, Tiffany, why don't you come on? Why don't you come on with me and tell us about it? Can I bring you on as a guest? And then you can just tell us about it. I'm sorry, guys. Everyone here knows I smoke, so I am going to have one now. This has been a stressful couple days. Her name is Cassidy Rainwater. I haven't heard this one either. Right, Phyllis? Absolutely. I can't phantom it either. Ooh, how? How would you even like to taste something like that? Kept her in a cage and ate on her. I what? My friend's son is a cop there. Oh, no, you're not, Patty. A lot of people are. I watch. Um, who's that young lady? She's beautiful. Um, she tells of true crime and she does her makeup, but now she's gonna doing true history. That's kind of off the wall. What is her name? She's got her own podcast now, so on the radio. So she's starting to do very well. Hi, Joy. Yes, that's it, Cheryl Bailey. Yeah, Syrian, right? Bailey Syrian. Is that it? I watch her all the time. Yep. She's really starting. She's beautiful, man. That girl can do some makeup. But I didn't. I don't think I. I heard something going on, or I saw it in the headers, something about something going on with a woman in a cage, but I didn't. And then I've also seen another one, and I think it has to do with Bailey saying something about young boys or young kids drinking blood or doing blood for a sacrifice or something. So I didn't watch the whole story, but I was intrigued to watch it. I just haven't had time yet. Yeah, she is cool. You know what she was doing though? Yesterday it was almost like she was plugging crack cocaine and coke, because she's like, "Well, I'm telling you, if you're gonna have it, slip it in the pocket and don't put it somewhere." But she said, "Slip it in the pocket." But I don't know what she was meaning by that. But I'm like, girl, you're gonna have all these young kids wanting to go out and do crack and cocaine. But it was about when they would arrest one person more extreme for crack cocaine, then they would arrest somebody for more cocaine. And she's like, well, you could have one Oreo and get, 10 years or 20 years, or you could have 100 Oreos and get out in a day. That's the difference between crack and coke. And I'm like, girl, you kind of need to not do that. There's a lot of kids that, I'm sure watch her. Yes, the vampire episode. Patty, do you know what I'm talking about when she's comparing crack to cocaine? Yeah, tree stuff is much scarier than me. Yeah, you're right, Phyllis. But I haven't watched the vampire one. I was watching her comparison of crack to coke yesterday. I woke up and I was going, what? What are you doing? Slip it in your pocket type of thing. You seen that? You know which one I'm talking about, then, Cheryl, right? It's there. She's talking about our government, how it's a 1 to 100 uh, scenario or something like that. Okay, Tiffany's saying something here. So the guy who helped Cassie in a cage, booby trapped his house, and it burned to the ground. Oh. Okay, so is the guy dead? Did did they catch the guy? Obviously, the girl's dead. Did they catch the guy? I'm telling you, I said, I'm kind of on drugs right now. My back has been out. Well, that's different, Patty. You're not like on drugs. You're on drugs that, you know, because of pain. Well, I want to see what's going on, Tiffany. Okay, both guys are in custody. So he tried to burn the evidence. Huh. Yeah, we got to watch for that one. Yeah, they do that. They try to burn the evidence. Boy, Brian didn't, did he? He just left it sitting right on top of the soil. They're asking, well, did he make somewhat of a grave or try to either a shallow grave or something? And they're not answering the coroner, but the way that I believe that the elements got to her, because he was talking about 3 to 4 weeks of elements, and considering the autopsy or the biopsy or whatever biopsy. So pretty much he's saying that it was it wasn't a shallow grave or anything like that. It just, hi, sis. Yeah, it's Celeste. Hi, Estelle. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about poor Gabby and her laying on the ground. So if he's saying that, then she couldn't have been in the ground at all. She had to be just laying on top. Yeah, they'll figure it out. They killed more than, yeah. I would think so too. Talking about the case Tiffany's talking about. Oh, okay. You don't know if that part's out yet. Yeah, I don't remember seeing that part. I ran across a story something like that, so I'm wondering if it's the same one. Yeah, it's sad. Both cases are sad. I just and I'm sure that I would think that the coroner would have called Gabby's family first, don't you guys, before going public with it, just for them to digest it, I would think. Because I'm sitting there thinking as I'm waiting for it, it was 2:30 and I was waiting for it to come across. And I was thinking, there is no way that the family couldn't have known first. You know, they had to have known first. And what about, you don't know that much, Tiffany, about this other young lady, right? Her family or anything like that? Because if all the information isn't released yet, then um, probably not. But man, what a sad day. It takes your breath away, you know? You can't even breathe. Yeah, I thought so too, Patty. Because I just don't see, people were saying, wait till the family hears, and the family had to have already known. They were already in the know before this was even released. They might have even had to say, go ahead and release it. You know, but I know it's a hard day for the family. Now they're talking about taking the memorial where everybody's got everything at. So I'm not sure if they're talking about in Wyoming or if they're talking about in Sarasota. But it might be in Florida that they're talking about taking everything down and something more permanent put up. So uh, I'm not sure which place, unless they're talking about. But they're not. They didn't put it up where she was killed. You know, I don't think that's where the memorial is, because if it got to the elements, it wouldn't matter, because it's out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, I would think so too, Joy. So I would think that the family would have to already be in the know, and probably knew a lot longer. You know. Okay, Phyllis. I don't know if we'll be here, but if we are, I'm glad to have you back. I just kind of want to wanted to come back after I got the information, in case y'all didn't go and check. Um, and let what the cause of death was. Because I've been sitting on pins and needles waiting. And I didn't really want to say anything about this case just because so many people jumped on the bandwagon, you know, with her. And out of respect, I just wanted to kind of, until I knew the cause of death, I wanted to say something then, or if he had been found and got arrested, I was going to say something then. Just being the fact that I'm sitting here in Florida, so and not far from there, so Yes, there was, but you know, I thought, I don't know if they would put a permanent one there because that's in a direct neighborhood, you know. So I know they were talking about taking a lot of the memorabilia down and then replacing it with something more permanent. And probably the family would, or the neighborhood would say absolutely you can put something there. You know, because it's the neighborhood coming and putting a lot of that there in the first place. So I don't know. I'm going to keep an eye on that too and see if they're going to put a permanent memorial there or not. And yes, it's right in front of of the parents' house, right in front. Somebody had the kahunas to print up a bunch of pictures of Gabby and put them facing the parents' house on the lines, on the little posts, on the light poles, even on their palm trees, to where they look out the window or open the door, they see Gabby's face. And this woman drove a couple hours to come do this in the middle of the night. I thought that was the most wonderful thing because you know his parents are lying and they have to look at her face every single day. So I don't know if they're still up or not, but they were the last time I looked, they were still there. I thought that was great. Well, guys, I think I'm going to go. I'm going to go probably take a nap. This really bums me out, and it's very upsetting. It's, you know, I can only imagine them losing their baby girl. I can't. Because of the weather and the rain, yeah, some of the things have to be taken down. Oh, really? A memorial bench made for her. That would be beautiful. Oh, that would be wonderful. Did they? You're welcome, Miss Dow. Congratulations. You won the giveaway. I was so pleased. I was so glad you won it. And you're most welcome. I wanted to bring this to you guys. I didn't know who was following the case, if anybody was, but, you know, I had to say something about her, you know, and not only is, you know, she became a Floridian because of this guy, but she was also a YouTuber, and I think she, you know, everybody that knows her should give a little shout out for her and just say she's soaring with the angels. You know, she's in the hands of God. So she's not suffering anymore, and I'm sure she's flying high. So I say fly high, Gabby. Fly high, darling. All right, guys. I'll see you on my next video. I love you guys so, so much. And everybody out there, just say a prayer for her family and give a beautiful, wonderful shout out to Gabby. Okay? All right. I love you guys so much. We'll talk soon. All right. Bye-bye.